Good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful day. Happy December 11th. We're back today. Like I promised last week, we're going to do a quick one, a half an hour of Q&A. I know you guys had a bunch of questions last week. They seem to kind of show up more towards the end of the feed, and I didn't want to make anybody feel like I was not going to answer your questions, so we're going to give you a full, a 30-minute hard-hitting Q&A. I want to answer all the questions that you guys have for me. So please, I got a couple questions that I loaded up from last week that we're going to start with, but as you guys can think of them, please feel free. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, and as always, folks, give us a call if you have problems with your New York workers' compensation case. As you know, this is Rex Sikowski. I am your workers' compensation lawyer. We will help you with all of your New York State workers' compensation needs. If you need help finding an attorney out of state, today was New Jersey Day. I must have gotten 600 calls. That's a lie. I got a bunch of calls from people looking for New Jersey attorneys. We also got a Minnesota, a Hawaii even. So if you need help tracking people down, please give us a call. We'll do our best. But first and foremost, Instagram, TikTok, you're not going to be able to see this, but if you are a Mets fan, it's a wonderful day and week and 15 years to be a Met fan. Let's go Mets. Juan Soto was ours. Sorry, Yankee fans. You've bought the best players of the offseason every year since I've been alive, pretty much. It's our turn. So let's do it. Also, folks, if you like what you're watching here, feel free. Hit that like button, subscribe, and it'll just keep giving me more motivation to give you more of what you're looking for, and that's to help you guys out. So let's jump into some. Where did it go? Where did it go? Hold on one moment. I gotta get this going. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so here's a couple questions that I stole from last week, and I brought them over this week just to get the ball rolling here. Maybe angle the webcam down a little so you don't cover your face when posting questions. Webcam down. You guys are good. Yeah, I'm a little zoomed in, and we're gonna have to fix that. But we'll do that. You, Mr. Sai, Mr. Sai, the computer guy, is telling me that I am a little angled. The questions cover my face sometimes, which is good for you guys because I have a face made for radio. So I'll do my best to fix that. But let's start with the first question here, which I now have covered up. What happens if I don't settle? Will I still get paid workers' compensation until my trial? So this is a question I wanted to discuss because it's got a lot of moving parts that really, and I get it if people don't have a full working knowledge of workers' comp and the comp system, and that's fine. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to help you. I don't understand how a fuel pump works in a car and how it doesn't cause the whole car to explode, but that's because I'm not a mechanic. So, you know, not having a working understanding of how comp works is fine. So a settlement can happen at any point in time. We settled cases before, you know, pretty quickly after they've been filed, before or while the carrier is controverting them, after they've filed notices of controversy, during the initial trial, before the case is even established, right after that trial when the case does get established, or can be disallowed. We've had cases that get disallowed, and then we tell the carrier, look, we're going to appeal this, we're going to fight this, we're going to go after you. We're not done yet, and if you want to get rid of us, let's settle. So you could settle at any point in time. Now, so if you don't settle, it doesn't mean much. You can always, you're not required to settle. The second part of that question, will I still get paid workers' comp until my trial? So if you're having a trial, it's important to know what the trial is for. Are we having what we call an ANCR trial? An ANCR trial is the initial trial in a controverted case, a case that's being disputed, fought, not accepted, whatever terminology you want to use. That's an ANCR trial. When I think of trial, I think of that. When we sit you down and we take your testimony, hey, how long did you work for this company? What type of work did you do? Catherine just sneezed, the loudest sneeze I've heard through the wall. How long have you worked for the company? What type of work did you do? How did you get hurt? What body parts did you injure? How much money did you earn? Did you tell your supervisor? Did you go to the hospital? Who's your doctor now? Did you have surgery? Do you have any past medical history that's relevant here? That's a trial when I think of trial. And then we also get to question your employer and their witnesses if they produce any. What do you mean you didn't know about the accident? You didn't think it was odd that an ambulance pulled up to the job site and one of your guys was missing as they pulled away? That's a trial. But there's other trials. There could be trials where we discuss medical issues, things of that nature. So, you know, if you don't settle your case, will you still get paid until your trial? Well, if it's an ANCR trial, if it's a trial to determine the initial compensability of a case, most likely you're not going to get paid until that trial occurs and your case is found to be compensable. But settlement doesn't really play a role there. So, you know, questions like that, and they're great questions because it shows me that you're in the system and you need help, and I'm the guy to help you. So Carpenter 78100, if you have any questions about your case. I know it's last week. I don't know if you're here today, Carpenter. If you are, call me. It's questions like that that make me want to get on the phone with you and get an understanding of what's going on with your case and help you out. As you know, Rex Sikofsky, my phone number is on the bottom there of the YouTube, but for you Instagrammers and TikTokers and everybody else, 212-406-8989 is our phone number here. The eye's looking better. The eye's feeling better. Thank you guys I'm getting such great comments on the different channels, and everyone's been very supportive of me and my ocular plight, and I'm getting through it. The eye's getting better, and we're feeling good, people. So thank you for all your well wishes. Let's jump into some questions here. Yeah, my face is being covered. Ooh. So Ida Erzagoni, hold on. Is there a way, perhaps? Let me see if I could just camera. Can we zoom it back, maybe? Hold on, folks. Stand by. I just want to see if I can. Maybe I just destroyed the world with this. Nope, that did nothing. That did nothing. That did nothing. Just bear with me, folks. I want to just see if I can help you help me. BRE. Nope. I want to just zoom and then answer your questions. We need a little zoom action here. You might not let me do it while we're filming. We'll do my best. Okay, so Ida has in New York has a hearing on December 13th. That's Friday. For notice to employer, causal relationship, accident, injury, AWW, degree of disability. I need L4, 5, L5, S1 fusion with ankle injury. What can I expect at this hearing? Thank you, Rex. I couldn't align this up any better. That is an ANCR trial. If that case is being controverted, if the insurance company said that they are not voluntarily accepting the case and they're fighting your case, you have potentially an ANCR trial. The way you know, look at your hearing notice, and at the top where it gives you the date and the time of your hearing, is there a time allowance? Is there an allotted amount of time there? Usually if you have a 12, 15, 20-minute time allowance, it's not a full trial. If you have a 45, 60, 75, 90-minute time allowance, yeah, you're having a trial. You're going to be sitting there answering questions. So hopefully you have an attorney who can get you through this, but your hearing is on Friday. You should be prepped before then. If you have an attorney, call them tomorrow. Make sure you know what to expect. If you don't have an attorney, man, my hair is a mess today. If you don't have an attorney and you want to go over, give me a call, 212-406-8989. Call tomorrow morning if you're going to call. If anybody needs to talk immediately about, pressing issues, tomorrow is our annual office holiday fiesta, and we're taking the girls, the staff out for a wonderful Italian late lunch. We're going old school. We're going Godfather style. So if you're going to call in the morning, and happy to help you guys out. But what can you expect? So if you're having an ANCR trial, they're going to ask you those questions that we just went over when I had answered this question over here. They're going to ask you about where were you working? How long did you work there? How did your accident happen? What type of injuries did you suffer from? How much did you earn? Was it on or off the books? Things like that. If it is a full-fledged trial, you're going to be answering some questions, and you want to be prepared to do it properly. So talk to your lawyer, make sure you know, keep it simple. Don't get out of control. Don't give long rambling answers. That's just a few things to expect. But again, if you want to go over things, if you don't have a lawyer and you're looking for some help, give me a call, 212-406-8989. As Sai says, if you have any questions, I'll post them here and I'll make sure I get to you guys. Rich Stilio. I kind of like that name. Hi, I got injured. Blunt head force trauma, head and back pain, neck. I was taken off workers' comp 2 weeks in. My lawyer just got me a new doctor. He will most likely put me back at no work. Thank you. Okay, well, that's significant. You have a pretty bad injury there. Rich, throw your question at me. I don't know why you got taken off comp. Most likely you had what's it called? An IME that took you off of comp. Why is this not working? You know, I'm trying to make things work. I don't know what your specific question is. So if you want to hit me with it, go for it. But we're going to jump back over here and hit this question. How long does it take to start getting non-scheduled payments after reaching MMI? So, great question. We're talking about non-scheduled permanent partial disability. These are classifiable injuries, classifiable permanent injuries. These are your head, neck, back injuries, your heart attacks and your strokes, your psychological disabilities. Following that psych live that we did, was that last week? We did the psych live. I got a whole bunch of questions. I answered a bunch of them this morning about psych cases, but psychological. I don't mean to use the term in any demeaning fashion. Psych. It doesn't. I'm not trying to say that you're a psycho. I'm just using psych as in psychological and psychiatric interchangeably. Some people just see a psychologist. Some people just see a psychologist, psychiatrist, psychologist. But those are non-scheduled type of cases. So generally speaking, if you're at the point of permanency after reaching MMI, your doctor's determined you're at MMI, the judge has ruled you're at MMI, and once the judge reaches a determination as to what your LWAC, your loss of wage earning capacity, or your PPD, your permanent partial disability, once they determine what that threshold, what that level is, your payment should start right after. Your payments should have continued up until that point, assuming that you're out of work. So you should be getting money that whole time if you're out of work that whole time. If you're not losing time from work or you're lost time, if you're not losing time from work and you're earning the same or more, then you're not going to see any money on a non-scheduled type of case. But if you are losing time from work or you're working reduced earnings, less days, less hours, less money, then you should be getting money pretty much that whole time. So that question kind of is curious to me as to why you're not getting money. So again, if you want to go over it, give me a call in the morning, 212-406-8989. Aaron has the comment of the day: instant like. When Rex is streaming, you hit like. It's that simple. You log on, prepare your question, punch the like button, and you like that video. Sai has given me that, and that gets a gold star. I got so many awesome graphics now, I can't even keep up. And it's what we're at 10. All right. So let me move on to the next question here. NP Kiros. Hi, Rex. I'm in California. My PTP has deemed my permanent totally disabled. I don't know what to expect next. I don't know what to tell you. We don't practice in California. We don't do California law here. We only do workers' comp in New York. But if you need help, if you don't have a lawyer, we do have some very good relationships with attorneys out there who can help you out. If you need help finding somebody, if you want some questions answered, give me a call. I'm happy to put you in touch with them and to get you the answers that you're looking for. But a permanent total is a permanent total, and clearly you have some significant injuries here. So I want to make sure you get the help that you need. Give us a call, 212-406-8989. This is our old friend Stendhal. When I mention my physical condition in interviews, I get put on the wait list. How can I return to work? So clearly, and I know we've discussed this in the past, not everyone who's on today has been on in the past and so on and vice versa. Stendhal has been given a work search obligation. He has been found to have a partial disability, and because of that, I'm lotioning my hands in the dryness here. Because of that, he has been obligated to do a work search. And when he mentions his disabilities in interviews, he's getting put on a wait list. How can he go back to work? It's tough. That is why the requirement by the board is not a requirement that you return to work within your restrictions. It's a requirement that you look for work within your restrictions. Because at least they know enough to know that it's harder for a person like you with an injury, a disability, a partial disability to find work. You know, and it's great that you want to go back. There's a lot of people that just do it to go through it, but you want to get a job, you want to go back, and that's fantastic because it only benefits you to go back to work. Sell yourself, man. Talk to these potential employers. Tell them that you're really looking to get back, overcome your disability, overcome this low point in your life that you were hurt and you were out, and you want to get back and you want to move on with your life, and you'll get there. I don't want to promise you because but you'll get there. You're a motivated guy. You're always asking the right questions. You're doing the right thing, and you're gonna be getting through this rough time in your life and moving on to bigger and better and more fantastic things. So good luck to you. And Stendhal is I say he. I'm sorry. This has always been a fantastic contributor, and I'm happy that you seem to be on the way to the promised land. Okay. So just like that question we had about a California case earlier, Big Paul Dottie. How long does a man, it's late. How long does a compromise and release take in New Jersey? I don't know. I don't practice in New Jersey. Again, I only do New York. I was just on the phone 20 minutes ago with our one of the attorneys that we use in New Jersey, who's a fantastic guy. The clients, it kind of bothers me that they like him, I think, more than they like me. And I gotta put a stop to that because he's too nice and he's too good, and that's not cool. But he is a fantastic guy. And if you need help with a New Jersey case, give me a call and I'll put you in touch with our friend over there, Paul. Ida is asking me about 12 minutes. What was your question before? Okay, so you have a 12-minute time allowance on your case. So your case might be established already. Excuse me. With a 12-minute time allowance, your case is probably established. It might have been established administratively. If this is your first hearing, it might have been done already. If not, if it hasn't already been established, this might be if they're still controverting your case, this might be a pre-hearing conference where they're setting the table for that big trial that we discussed. It's hard to say. I'd really need to look at your file and go over some of your paperwork to help you out. Again, if you have a lawyer, call them. I mean, that's what they're there for. Ask them what to expect. My clients call me all the time. Hey, I got a hearing next week. What should I expect? What do I need to be prepared for? What questions am I going to answer? And we go over it all the time. We do trial preps every day. We got people in here for upcoming hearings and trials. And it's okay. Just call your lawyer and ask him. And if you don't have one and you need one, there's this guy with a bad eye, but he's happy to help me. 212-406-8989. Frank Cesario. Can you fight a voluntary payment reduction even if the Workers' Compensation Board tells you no? Can you appeal it? Can you fight a voluntary payment reduction even? So the board has been a pain in the butt with stuff like this. I kind of understand your question. So let's assume a set of facts here. You have an accident, you get hurt, you go out, and the insurance company accepts your claim. And they say, you know what? We think that you are earning $600 a week, so we're going to pay you $400 a week as your total rate of compensation. And then you go and see their doctor, and their doctor says you have a mild disability, so they want to cut your $400 down to $150. Which is the minimum rate. And you say, hey, I can't live on this. And my doctor says that I'm totally disabled. So in some circumstances, you request a hearing and you say, they've reduced my benefits. I want to do something about this. From time to time, the compensation board will send us a notice back saying, hey, your client's getting paid, basically telling us, be quiet, your client's getting something, and something's better than nothing. And, this is what they tell us. And that's not good enough for us. So can you fight it? Well, as your lawyer, but we do fight it and we do keep pushing. You can't appeal that. The only things that get appealed are judges' decisions. So you can't appeal that reduction by the carrier, but you can fight it. You can go to court and you can try to get some benefits bumped up. Excuse me. I just need to. People, take good care of your eyes, please, because this sucks. All right. Whew. So that's what happens. Call your lawyer or call me, 212-406-8989. Rich Stillo before posted a question, and I wanted to know where we were going. The doctor from the insurance provider put me on light duty, and I am refusing work because MRI said I have TMJ dislocation. My lawyer got me a new doctor. Will he take me off work? I couldn't answer that question. I'm not a doctor. How am I going to know if your new doctor is going to take you off work? It's possible. Talk to him. If the insurance company doctor has examined you and now you're going to see a new doctor, I would also recommend taking a copy of that report and bringing it with you because it'll give your new doctor a little insight as to what to expect from the insurance company doctor and how to approach your claim. But sounds like you have something significant there, and I wish you the best. Good luck with that. Aaron R. I can't think of a question. The best thing to do is not get hurt. That is the comment of the day. Nobody wants to see you get hurt. Nobody wants anyone to be in pain. I know. And this is what gives lawyers a bad rap because, oh, you're just waiting for the next person to get hurt. No, I'm not. I don't want you to get hurt. But when you're there, I'm going to help you get through it. You know, I like helping people. But yes, you're right, sir. Just don't get hurt. Okay. Here we go. Aaron had a question now. Campaign at night and VRAP, sleep schedule factor into settlement and going back to work. Is it crap you were going with? A crappy sleep schedule? The C is next to the V on the keyboard. Can it factor into settlement? So only if it's debilitating. Factors like that pop up a lot with back, spinal injuries and psych cases, poor sleep patterns when you have PTSD or major depressive disorder. So it can factor in on occasion. Is it going to make a $5,000 case become a $50,000 case? Probably not. But it's just one of many factors. You have to be able to tie those issues into debilitating factors to try to bump up case value. Beezer, is this John Van Beesbrook, former New York Rangers goalie? What happened when the IME agrees with the injury but not the MMI in New York? Doesn't agree. So what happens when the IME does not agree with the injury? But I'm not. You got to hit me with that question a little. They don't always agree. Listen, IMEs and treating doctors agree on a lot of things from time to time. They disagree on a lot of things from time to time. We use that to our advantage when we're deposing them. It's funny. One of my favorite things to ask an IME doctor, they'll give you a whole line of BS about how the claimant has been treating with doctor, so-and-so for the last 2 years, and he's undergone physical therapy and injections, and, MRI showed this, and he had surgery here, and post-operative care here, and da-da-da-da-da, and the diagnose. And I'll basically say, doctor, so you're basically telling me you agree with everything that the treating doctor has done, treatment-wise, you agree with his diagnosis. The only thing you seem to disagree on is that he's totally disabled. You're agreeing that his doctor's doing a fantastic job and done everything right, but he's not 100% disabled. He's only 25% disabled. Well, that's a little fishy to me. So, it does happen. We do bring that up. We do show where those failures come in. Divine creations, you and me, we are divine creations. I need to get a knee replacement due to an injury at work. What do you think a fair settlement amount? The first amount they offered was $53,000. My lawyer told me that was a low offer. So if we're talking New York State, a total knee replacement. So have you had the replacement? Have you not had the replacement? Are they paying you for prospective surgery? If you didn't have the replacement and you are settling now, are they giving you money for the surgery and post-operative care now up front just to get rid of you? Or did you have the surgery and are you looking for the value? I'm pretty sure the Workers' Compensation Board guidelines provide for a 35% loss of use of a leg for a knee replacement with a good result. 35% of a knee gets you 100.8 weeks of compensation payable at the maximum rate, 2/3 of your salary, subject to that statutory maximum. So $53,000 offer sounds like your average weekly wage is somewhere in the $500 range, which means, I'm sorry, your max rate is somewhere in the $500 range, which means that your average weekly wage is somewhere in the $750 range. If you earn $750 a week and you didn't see a dime on this case, maybe your knee is worth in the $50,000 range for a 35% loss of use. Base your own opinion on there. I would need a lot more information to give you an honest estimate as to the value of your case. But if your lawyer's telling you that, talk to him about it. Get some understanding. Okay. Good question. Bad injury. Knee replacements suck, but it's amazing how much better they've gotten over the years. It's talking to orthopedists who do knee replacement surgeries. Back in the day, and I think I've brought this up in the past, a knee replacement was like a half a day surgery. You know, a doctor had to do a knee replacement. If he was lucky, got 2 of them in the course of a full day in the OR. Now they do like 4 of them, and then they go out for pizza. They do knee replacements. It's just amazing how the surgery has become so much less stressful than it used to be. SH, my doctor is saying my low back injury is at 32%, but 23 only due to the injury and the rest is pre-existing. The employer doctor is saying that it's degenerative disease and my pain is unrelated to the injury. Well, that's what they do. If you have a pre-existing condition, a prior injury, something like that, they're going to try to dump as much of your overall disability on your pre-existing condition, which they don't owe you money for, than they are on your new condition. If you have a good lawyer, he's going to remember the eggshell skull case from law school. I love bringing this up because all the judges that are lawyers, which most of them are, and the attorneys in the room, it brings them back to when they were fledgling young attorneys and law students. The thin skull rule, the eggshell skull rule. You take your victims as you find them. The case as it goes, there was 2 kids playing in a schoolyard or something along those lines, and one of the kids had a condition where he had a soft skull. He had a soft section of his skull, and the other kid was being a little too aggressive and hit the first kid over the head with a stick and caused significant damage because he didn't know the kid had a soft skull. If he hit a normal person with a hard head like mine, you wouldn't have caused so much damage. You wouldn't have caused any damage, but because he hit this guy with a soft head, he caused a lot of damage. And the ruling in the court was you take your victims as you find them. You shouldn't be hitting people over the head with a stick to begin with. And if you happen to hit somebody who's got a soft head and you F him up more than the next person because he has a soft head and you didn't know it, that's your problem, not anybody else's. You shouldn't be hitting people with a stick. So you take your victims as you find them. So our argument is always going to be that if my client does have a pre-existing condition, a bad back, a bad whatever, you know, they were working at full duty at the time of their accident. Hopefully, presumably, they were working to their full capacity at the time of this accident. And it's this accident that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So that's our argument that we make in those circumstances. But ultimately, there is apportionment when you have a pre-existing condition, which contributes to the overall level of disability. That question, I'm Gold Star happy today. I am graphic happy today. I love you guys so much, and it's 5 o'clock now. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And unfortunately, I got to wrap it up. All right, so Divine was asking about the value of a TKR, total knee replacement. If you haven't gotten it yet, no, $53,000. I don't even think covers the cost of the surgery and the postoperative care and the prosthetic. So get more money. Tone has done it again. I'm in North Carolina, and workers' comp is offering me a 10% rating and a $100,000 settlement in full and final with a resignation. Is it a good idea to accept this offer? And unfortunately, I hate to just be a broken record here. We don't practice in North Carolina. I don't know the answer to that question, but we do have some great partnerships with relationships. I say partnerships. We don't have a contractual relationship with anybody. We have relationships with attorneys in North Carolina, great lawyers. And if you have questions and you want to talk to them and get some recommendations on your settlement, Tony, I dying to say Tony again. Call me and I'll get you in touch with them. I sent my PI the correspondence, but no response. And there's an end of the month deadline. You better get on the phone with your lawyer. Call or make an appointment. Call his receptionist. Say, hey, I just want to go see so and so. Let me go in and have a sit down with them. A couple more. I hate not answering all the questions. Hello, Rex. What is work hardening and what should I expect after I complete it? I don't know. That's a new one. I'm going to research that and we're going to talk about that one next week. Omar, I got injured as a truck driver and now I'm working on light duty as an Uber driver. Does the insurance calculate my income before or after my fuel expenses while doing Uber? Man, oh man, this is the question you hit me with at the end of my feed. I could do a whole, and you know what, we should do a whole video on Uber and Lyft and drivers and how we determine your average weekly wage. It's the way we figure out average weekly wage. So here in New York State, we have something known as the industry standard. And up until recently, it was $250 a week. They basically said, if you are a cab driver, a car service driver, if you're any of the drivers, a livery, your average weekly wage is set at $250 a week unless you could prove more. How do you prove more? Your tax returns. That's how we prove it. We use your Schedule C on your tax returns. And your Schedule C basically you're telling the IRS, I worked last year and I earned $80,000, but I had $50,000 in expenses and my net profit was $30,000. We then find out how many weeks you worked and we divide, and that's how we figure out your average weekly wage. So that's how we factor in your fuel expenses, your insurance, the depreciation of your car, and things like that. And this is where people get into trouble. You can claim all the depreciation and all the expenses in the world, and if that number, there are cab drivers that make a lot of money, that have a great business, make a lot of money, and if you go and you depreciate and take too many expenses, and you get stuck with the industry standard, which has gone up to $450. I should have said that before. It went from $250 to $450, so that's at least a nice jump. But with a $450 average weekly wage, your maximum rate is $300 a week. I know cab drivers that make $300 in a half a day, not in a week. So it's a huge difference. But that's how it works. And we deal with this all the time. Cab drivers, we're always asking for tax returns. I sit here, there are days I'll have 12 inches of paperwork in front of me, which is tax returns, years and years of tax returns. We also need them to figure out reduced earnings and things like that. So that's how it works. Colorful Life. Oh, you guys, I love you all. Hold on, let's see what we got here. I see a bunch of other questions coming in. Colorful Life, I see you have a great question here. Amazon employee, we have a ton of Amazon employees. Especially the warehouse workers get hurt a lot, and it's bad. Give me a call, Colorful Life. Give me a call, anybody who wants to talk. It's only because it's 5:04 and I have an appointment. I got to run. But I appreciate all the great questions. This was this is a quick hit, 30 minutes of rapid fire questioning. And I'm going to do more of this. But give me a call. Call me tomorrow morning. Catherine is going to leave, but you can come in for 1 second. 212-406-8989. You want to say hello? No, Catherine's shy. Wah. Can you call right now? You can't. The phone, that's the problem. The phone shut off at 5 o'clock. I can't answer the phone because I don't know if it's ringing or not. But call me tomorrow morning. First thing, 212-406-8989. Robert Posanato, call me tomorrow. I do have to run. I'm sorry. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Happy holidays. I will see you next week. I'm going to give you a full hour next week. All right? Cy, write it down. An hour next week. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you.